Welcome into episode 9 of the Hobby Hotline Monday Night Heat, live tonight on YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope. With me tonight, your pal Val at NASCAR Radio, Dan Anderson from Mojo Break, and I'm Tim Shepler at Big Shep 79. We are the Hobby's only live weekly call-in show, and ready to rock and roll. We have a great list of topics. Now we're going to talk a little Joe Adell getting called up. It looks like Mark Wahlberg and his kids are opening cards and doing breaks. I want to talk a little about Louis Bobby and his rookie card prices. And then if we have time, I want to talk about our perfect release. If we had a release, if we were going to put out a release, what it would look like and what we'd have in it. Guys, what have you been up to? How's your weekend been?
Good. Busy. It seems like every week we have multiple releases. This week we have Chronicles, Racing, which Val was telling me about. And we also have Gold Standard Football and Luminaries Baseball, little high-end product for everybody. So, it seems like every week we're doing it. So it's a sprint every week.
Right. And then a breather, and then you hop on and you're on the roller coaster again, right?
Absolutely.
Now, I see. Have you enjoyed all of your snack packs that you picked up from Utz?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm working my way through it. I'm giving them away. Just opening those packs up for that 3-card tops, which is a 100-card set. It's kind of tough because you never know. But I say all that too. I'm about down to 1 card now. I had to pick up about 8 cards on eBay, but enjoy my potato chips and stuff. So this is the second year for that. So this year, the design I believe is different than the base. So last year, the only difference was a little UTS symbol. But I'm enjoying them. So I make my lunch and have some chips.
There you go. Everybody said that they liked the UTS version of the card more than like the flagship design. So it's pretty interesting. I think they did a good job with it, and I like that they changed it up and did something a little different. So we got bam, right off the bat, we're gonna have a caller in here. But real quick, Joe Adell's getting called up tonight, so now it's time to sell, right? Because he only can go down from here, right? Like is he gonna get any better? Like
and every other year, I would completely agree with you. But who knows? I mean, you saw it last year with Acuna. Like I think 2 months after he got called up, I was like, oh, we got to sell everything we had. And then it ended up going up 3 times the amount we sold a lot of the stuff for. So any other year, I would say absolutely sell. But the Joe Adell that I have, I'm holding. I'm going to play the hold game on this one.
Yeah, you know what I did today is I went and I hit Sport Lots and I bought the 2018 Topps Pro Debut. Because those have been, I think, those are some underrated cards of some big stars that you can get. I mean, we've seen with the Trouts and obviously, but I was picking up for 60 cents.
You wipe them all out.
What's up?
I said, did you wipe them all out?
All the ones that were under $1 are coming my way. And it was one of those things like I have some of the 17 Bowman Chrome and Prospect, the base and the Chrome cards. And so, but I didn't have that. And I picked up last week, I did the same thing with Luis Robert. I picked up, I think 15 of them for under $1.25. I just think that card could be one of those that later on people look for. Hey, I can't afford this one or this one. Well, that one's pretty affordable, and it's only $75. So we have a caller in right off the bat. Ziggy, no, what's up, buddy? How are we doing today?
Doing well, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Perfect. Sounding great.
Yes,
Excellent. Going with no video, just to save some bandwidth. Listen, first of all, I want to thank everybody. Mojo Breaks, I saw you guys participated in the virtual and on the Sports Card Hobby Palooza this weekend. A lot of great content. I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot. I put together a channel where I kind of give updates on what I'm learning. One hypothesis that I've come out of from the whole weekend is that I know why we're in a bubble, and I know why it's going to crash. I don't know when, but I'd like to share my thoughts on this.
Please.
I was watching both Topps and Panini and they were talking about the manufacturing process. And I've watched a lot of videos on this. And I think you guys can back this up. Manufacturers used to be constrained by real assets like autographs and memorabilia, right? They used to be constrained by game-worn memorabilia. And we've seen that gone, replaced by player-worn. Well, if you look at what Panini has done for the last few years, they've now put out more colors and more serial number products than ever before with Choice, T-Mall, right? The retail products. None of those really require any autographs or memorabilia at all. And now we're seeing that bleed over to Upper Deck, right? They're releasing a Lore Hockey, which is a very heavy refractor product. I think it's one autograph per box now, or one autograph every other box. And Topps is jumping on. So I think, to me, the reason why we are in a bubble, the reason this will eventually crash, is because we, the consumer, has allowed these manufacturers to make products that don't really have any value anymore. And I even say that to the numbered cards. People used to think numbered cards are protected. But again, you used to have a Prism that was numbered 199. That was great. But now there's a fast break to 175 and a Choice to whatever. And you know what I'm saying? There's so much dilution in the market. And I don't see anybody bringing this up. The manufacturers will tell you, oh, we're watching and we're controlling this. The distributors will tell you they're watching, controlling this. And I really think if we all, pay attention, that is why this is going to crash. And I think we as, consumers need to change. Now, I don't think that will happen because there's too many uneducated consumers that don't understand the difference between player worn, game worn, or no material at all. So to me, again, it's my hypothesis on why. I will also say I don't think it's going to happen soon, because there's so many new people coming in. If you saw yesterday, Marky Mark, right? Mark Wahlberg, 15 million subscribers, saw him and his kids open up a case of Chronicles, right? Which most people can't get access to, and only going to flood the market with more hype and more interest. So love to hear your thoughts and comments on that.
No, definitely. We've talked about before about the cards, about the and just in Prism in general, how, there's 45, 46 colored cards, parallels that come out of, across all of their sets. And this was really relevant. I think we talked about, here locally with some collectors in person, where there's just so much different retail versions available of certain products from Panini. There's 3 or 4 different SKUs that put out that add a different color or two. And then on top of that, the hobby ones as well. So yeah, I agree with that. I think that when you're able to add a color and then not number the color or number it to $2.99, that allows for so much more printing to be available. I know Dan in the past has said one of the best things that saved Prism hobby basketball especially was that the fact that they had to include an autograph in there, because that egos, even if it's a crappy $3 auto that nobody wants, we still need to have that in there to hold them to not overproducing at least the hobby side of it. So that holds some value. But when you have the base cars being mass produced and there's so much retail available, yeah, it does definitely bring it down.
No, I mean, and it's a great point by Ziggy, and I have brought that up over the years, that what saves us from mass production is the $3 to $4 sticker autos and the single color event worn, what like people like to call napkin relics and stuff like that. That saves us from mass production. Those guarantees that you're going to get 2 relics and 2 autos, we don't want to steer away from that. We want to keep those guarantees in there. That is what's saving us from, like you said, coming up with another color and making way more cases. And if you throw the points in there, that's really what the points are there for as well. Points replace a hit, and that allows them to make more product.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Val.
Yeah, so one thing when Ziggy was talking about this was, guys, when we were through the junk wax, people were hoarding and holding on to product. Or if you saw the 100 stack of Mark Grace or whatever back in the day, everybody was looking at it as an investment, and they're going to put it away. I still have a wax case of 1990 Score Canadian, so that I got back then. So that's another thing too, where people were like Big Shepler, like you were talking about. It was like, you don't want to just have one of a card. You want to have 10 or 15 or whatever, and you're going to use it to flip or whatever, or trade for something else down the line or whatever. But I think the more people that consume or hold on to product, they absorb it. They can print more. And I think that's kind of a different mentality than maybe when we were going through the recession, where stuff was short printed and people only were getting one as instead of a case of stuff. So I don't know if that makes sense, but
No, I agree, and I like Dan's point. The points, the if you watched, it was collegiate Contenders collegiate basketball that was released, and that was one of the first ones. And I remember watching people opening cases of like blasters, and had a guaranteed. It was a retail product, and a guaranteed auto in each blaster. Well, I watched people open cases, and half of the autographs were Panini points, and 150 Panini points. So right there, that means that if you do that every time in every case, half of them are points for nothing. And you go on the site and it's all the garbage that's left over, the stuff that never got put in a product or got sent back too late. And you go through there and there's, those are the $1 or $2 autographs. And you get these points. It just allows them to keep rolling. And that's the frustrating part. I think the points are terrible. At first it was always an additional thing. If that's what I believe, it was an additional hit. And now it's become a replacement for a hit, and it allows them to water down the product. And then on top of it, you got to spend $8 to ship the card to yourself that they promised you in the first place. So
that I think is really interesting. Is you buy a blaster, get the points, and if it was an autograph or whatever, you had it right there in your hand. But now you have to redeem the points and then pay for shipping to you where it should have been in the product.
Yeah.
So I remember I was at the industry summit, and I want to say it was 2014 when they rolled out that program. And the marketing behind it was genius. It was like, all right, we're getting rid of redemptions. No more redemptions, anybody. And everybody's like, yeah, no more redemptions. They figured it out. Everything's going to be live. And a year later, we're dealing with the points. And I'm like, oh, this is just easier for them, and they can make, like, if you get a case of, you're saying like Contenders Draft collegiate, and there's 5 points cards in the case, well, they only had to put content in for 11 boxes, so they were able to basically make a full case but only put 11 boxes worth of content in there. So it's essentially making more product.
So have you guys redeemed any? How are the autograph subjects or the redemption subjects in the other sports? I'm familiar with the NASCAR, and it's not that great, I would think. So I don't know how it is in the other sports, if it's the lower tier guys or.
You can tell supposedly based on, and I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to this, but based on the value of points. So if you open up a product that, let's say retails about $120 and you pull a 250 point card, that was probably the equivalent of a sticker auto that was going to be, $4 to $10. But you could pull a points card that is 3,000 points. Now that probably was a Kevin Durant or a Kobe Bryant or a Steph Curry or something like that. It would be like the top tier. Now, I've opened up a lot of products and I've seen a lot of 3,000 point cards or 1,500 point cards. And it always gets you wondering, like, what was that supposed to be? And again, I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason. I think initially that's how they try to roll it out. And they're like, a lower tier guy would be 150 or 250 points. A higher tier player would be 1,500 to 2,000, 3,000, something like that. But hard to say. I don't know.
Another quick observation that we saw over the weekend, and that goes to Panini. And what I'd ask is that I think the Panini monopoly is a huge problem in the industry, specifically how they've been treating the consumer with no longer do we get suggested retail price. And what I mean by that is they used to have first off the line. And one of the best things about first off the line is that it was at suggested retail price. Whether you got to it or not, okay, at least they offered it. Now this year, they started doing what I refer to as the Dutch oven auction, right? Where they get the maximum for that. Now, what I'm wondering is, why did they do this? And I've heard rumors that it was distribution putting pressure on them because they were exposing the fact, sorry, that's me. They were exposing the fact that suggested retail price was so much lower. Like, look at the Chronicles box, right? Panini crashed on Friday trying to sell the box at $900. Well, you could pre-order that from Blowout at $7.99 a few weeks ago. So we all know that that's not the suggested retail price. Panini no longer even offers suggested retail price. Used to do first of the line. They used to do some products that are limited. And now their excuse to that is they don't want the servers to crash. I think, and this is what my observation is, we need to be harder on Panini and stop being so chummy with them and start asking some hard questions, right? Like, hey, why don't you invest in web servers and go back to letting customers fight over those allocations? That's still fair. It's still suggested retail price. Don't tell me that Dutch auctions are designed to give your customers a better choice, right? They're not.
I think
this is just one example.
I think they went to that Dutch auction because of the bots. They were getting in and wiping out the products at that lower price, and that if they set up the bots now, they're going to pull at the Dutch auction at the higher price. But I don't know, Dan.
That's not accurate. I can tell you, I mean, IT and bots are not the issue there. There's other manufacturers who deal with bots. There's ways to prevent bots. Again, if they invested in the infrastructure, they could solve that problem. They're choosing not to, and it's not like there's a lack of money for them, right? So my point is, I think we need to be harder on that. In fact, what I would like to do is organize consumers to write letters to the sports league and encourage them to stop doing exclusive licensing. I understand that everybody says, it's one neck to choke, but it's not. I can tell you I have 4 sons. 2 of them don't like basketball anymore. Part of it because they're disgusted with the sports card industry. So I think they don't realize they are going to lose more than they will gain by giving these exclusive contracts away. There's just one neck to choke is a poor reason to give Panini a license to football and basketball. There's been never a market where you ever have had a monopoly self-police itself. It just doesn't happen. Their goal is to make money. Competition is the way you self-police. And I hope more people list this, and I hope consumers do take action against this.
No, and I get that. And Val is right. I mean, I think a part of it was the bots, but let's face it, like, if you're Panini and it's your product and you're making it and you're paying the license for it, why can't you sell it for whatever the market value is going to dictate? And they probably sat there in a boardroom and were like, we're tired of everybody else being able to make money on this when we're the ones doing the work and we're the ones producing the product. So
if they're going to do that, then they got to get rid of discounting them.
That's why they rolled out the Dutch auction, because they were like, we're done. We're done letting everybody make money on our product. And that's basically, if they tell you anything else, I think they're just blatantly lying. I think the bot was an easy way to tell everybody and to make it look like they're the good guys. Like we're protecting everybody. We're protecting the consumer by putting this Dutch auction in play. But it was actually to make more money.
Yeah, no, and I think you get rid of. Yeah, we appreciate it, Ziggy. I think you get rid of both of them, and you go to doing something what Topps did when they did the Finest flashback, right? I think that was one of the best ideas where, one, they offered to your Montgomery Club members. Have Panini set something like that up. You know that people would knock down the door. I mean, think of all the people that go to the VIP party that want to be part of a Panini exclusive club. You allow them to, buy into these first off the line, get X number of boxes, put it at a competitive price, because they're going to see what the market is on when you have contenders drop, right? And you see what blowouts listing contenders at. Well, if you were the one holding the cards with first off the line contenders, then you know what people are probably willing to pay for it and offer it to them at that price. I think that would be, and then once that's done, offer up, hey, log in to this and grab a bunch of email addresses from people. So now you have a list of customers to market to at all times. And hey, if you get picked at the raffle and you get to order a box or two at this specified price, you don't pay, you don't get it. I think that would be genius, and they could get the money. You don't have to worry about bots. There's not a ton of investment that's going to go into that besides people, going through and gathering those emails.
I like that. I think again, it gets back to the manufacturers looking at what these products are going for on the secondary market. Like like Finest Flashback. They're probably looking at it going, people are selling these for like $400 or $500. Like, why didn't we sell it for $400 to $500?
Yeah. Well, no, and I think Topps could look back and say, hey, listen, next year we could offer it $150, do something like, we know they're going to bastardize whatever the next thing is or come up with something new from this. But again, it was a good test, an opportunity to see what they could do with it. I loved that plan. It was a great plan, and it looked, it was pretty much flawless. Nobody really had any issues. I thought it was great. I think and everybody got a chance, and so many people said, hey, I got in, I won, I got two, I'm going to get 2 boxes. Had the prices not exceeded $150 a box, I would have kept mine and opened them. But when they're getting to $400, that's just stupid money. And it's like, for me, it was like no brainer to turn around and take $140 or whatever I spent and take $800-900 for it. I just want to pull up real quick. So I pull up the Panini Reward site. The 15,000, the most points you can spend on a card right now is an Immaculate Patches 1 out of 10 DeMarco Murray.
Whatever you do, don't go.
Look, Dante Moncrief, James Young Immaculate. Here we go. Here's a Trey Mason certified freshman fabrics right here for you.
PC right there.
Yeah, 3,000 points. He's been out of the league for how long now?
So if you get a chance, go to the NASCAR before you're done.
Yeah. Let's go by sport. We'll take a look at
See, you guys have some great stuff. Maybe everybody's wiped out NASCAR.
Jeb Burton, 900 points.
Yeah.
It's like Jebby doesn't sign his stuff on time. Oh, the great Landon Castle. Ty Dillon. At least I've heard of Ty,
Yeah, Ty Dillon's out there.
600 points.
600 points, yeah. What I'm saying is, one more reason I'm saying is, like, it'd be great to have some higher end stuff out there. I think like the John Hunter Nemecheks and Harrison Burtons, which are the rookies, kind of, they're probably, in my opinion, some of the best bet. But 900 points is the best. When you had 15,000 points, did you say?
Yeah, but on a DeMarco Murray who's been out of the league for how long? Like 3 years now.
And maybe they need to refresh some of the stuff.
But James Young for the Celtics, okay, like there's a ton of Dante Moncrief stuff in here. Eddie Lacy and Alfred Morris, okay.
Now that basketball one looks cool with the basketball.
Yeah.
What design is that? That looks nice.
That is out of preferred basketball.
Oh, here we go. Bishop Sankey reward rookie card. He was good for never. Like
he was good for no time. No time. He was never good.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is
Zach Mettenberger.
Oh, XFL, I think, or the other league, the other one that flopped.
Yeah.
Some of these should. I guess where I'm going is some of this maybe should expire, and they should refresh it if they're putting points in these blasters. So. Yeah,
some of these, like Caleb Brantley, 2017 score rookie signatures printing plate. Like, I guess I don't like. It just shows you like there's not a name in here where they're even started, if they're even still in the league. Oh, there's a Kevin Hogan 8x10 Stanford auto for you.
There you go.
Most of these guys aren't even playing in the league anymore.
But in Panini's defense, what do you do with that stuff?
I guess
do you just like put it on the reward side, or do you just throw it in the garbage, or do you come up with another type of replay product, and you just throw Trey Masons in a replay product,
or somebody like you're filling a redemption that you've had for 3 years. Grab another card of that box over there as a freebie and throw it in there.
In their defense, they paid for all those autos. That's all inventory that is basically dead money on their shelf at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just crazy to look through there and what that they can do by just inserting points. I don't mind the color parallels as well. Like right now, I click Garrett Hampson, right, and he was a rookie 19 in baseball, and I'm trying to get all the parallels from Prism, and there's like 40 something. and I'm not any. He's not any big star right now, or maybe ever. But I'm able to pick him up for a couple bucks here or there. But it's crazy trying to track down and then tell when they're not numbered. Okay, what red one is this? So
Yep.
that's fun. That's a fun game to play.
Yeah, and getting back to like Panini, they're getting hated on from every direction right now. I mean, they can't really help that when they make a product, it goes up 5 times. What do they? I mean, granted, when they do the Dutch auction, they are absolutely taking in what the market is dictating, and they're not leaving any money on the table.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know what we're supposed to tell them. Like, what if you had the floor and you basically could ask them anything? What would the consumer ask them? What is the pressing issues? I want to know. I mean, I do talk to the Panini guys a fair amount. I mean, obviously not right now because of the pandemic, but I usually sit down and have a conversation with them, and they are. It wasn't until this year that they really were like, we're going to capitalize on what the market is dictating on every product.
No, and I think that there's a way to do the similar Dutch auction, but like I don't think that starting at like some crazy amount and having it drop down. I mean, I think maybe it's their best solution to having people go in and just crash their site and try to fight off other technologies that can go in and beat out physical people, right? With the bots or whatever it happens to be. And at least they're trying something, but it's frustrating too. Like I think for me, if I was them, like I said before, I would set something up where I would have a club. I would come up with, because you look at the wholesale price and then what it sells for the retail market. If I have an exclusive version of that, then I'm going to come up with a higher price point for it, like I was a retail store, and put it out. And if my club members don't want to buy it, and then I put it out to the general public and they don't want to buy it, then I know my price is too high. But if not, people want to swoop it and grab it, then hey, that's a good way. I can make some more money on it than what I was going to, and the distributors don't, get involved and get their cut.
How smart would Panini look as a company for profit if they were selling Chronicles basketball on their site for $120? People would be praising them like crazy. Everybody who gets it, they're like, "Oh my god, I just bought a $120 box and I flipped it for $900." And they basically are just like giving away $800 to every person who is able to check out. That is not a good for-profit business mindset when you have a product that will sell for 10 times the amount of the suggested retail price.
Yeah, but if they dropped it at $500 or $600, right? And I'm saying they what they're paying for it versus what they're making off it, because they're when they sell those boxes wholesale, they're still making that money off that box, right? They're just not making as much of it, because why would you make product that you're not making any money off of?
You could do the math, but the initial I'm looking at it right now. The list price on Chronicles basketball, the MSRP is $120.
Yeah,
I'm not making that up. That when they basically made that product, they put content in there to be worth $120.
Yeah,
not $900. That's why when you open up boxes for $900 and you get $50 worth of cards, you got destroyed because they had no ambition of putting $900 worth of product in there.
So NASCAR is at that same like 120, but it all depends on the rookie class, right? So in the fall, I remember the whole Zion craze, right? It was in the fall, and everybody was waiting for the Prism and the collegiate Prism, and the bots came in and swooped in and got everything. And the second year of that rookie class, I guess Luka on the first year, and then the Zion. So it just is this momentum for the product, but and that's just basketball. But if you look at NASCAR, that's not there. So I think Panini and trying to price it right, and it all depends on demand. And this stuff is how many months out before designing it, getting it printed, and getting it out. So
yeah, I'm confident that you're going to be able to go on a major online retailer and find Chronicles NASCAR for $120.
Yeah.
I'm also confident that I can call up a distributor right now and say, hey, I didn't order any Chronicles NASCAR. Can I get 20 cases of it? And it would be ready for me to pick up at said distributor on Wednesday.
No, they would say, do you want us to bring it to you? And what lunch? Where do you want lunch from on us? No, there's, you know.
And we're at the mercy of every rookie class. I don't think basketball's rookie class is going to be strong next year. I think with everything going on, no March Madness, we don't really know who we're gonna be collecting, who we're gonna be going after.
And all the top guys were either playing foreign ball, right, with Ball and that other kid, and then you have Weissman, who got 2 games at Memphis before he had to leave the team. Anthony Edwards, the kid out of Georgia. I mean, they were a terrible basketball team. They weren't any good, you know. So
what you're going to see is early products are going to come out, the collegiate products, and then we'll see Prism. Prism's going to come out, and everybody's going to have the mindset that, oh my God, Prism is going to be like last year, and it's going to be like the previous year. I'm going to order 150 cases. I'm going to go to Blowout, and I'm going to order everything they have on pre-sale. And what are you going to – this is where the bubble burst for that category. What are you going to do when all those boxes are selling for $95?
Well, because of the Shore Griffey.
Because when nobody is chasing it and you can't pull anything big out of a set product, then you're going to see everything start going down after that.
And that's what I'm saying. When people start buying quantity of stuff and then they go to sell and nobody's buying, that's when the bubble breaks.
Or we're all still drunk off this off of COVID-19 and the boxes are $4,000.
Yeah.
Right, we got Texas.
I know that the pre-orders are going to come in hot and heavy for next year with the mindset that it's going to be just like 17-18 and 19-20 or 18-19 and 19-20.
Think of the last 3 draft classes we've had, though. If you look back at 17-18, 18-19, 19-20, some of the best young players in the league have just happened to come. We're doomed for a bad draft class, and especially now with the high school kids getting to go to the G League, and there's all that stuff. But we have Texas Car Dude calling in. What's up? Are you calling from a hot tub?
I am. For John Newman, I decided to jump in the hot tub, brother.
Oh, man. Well, I like to see that you're in hot water today. How are you doing, buddy?
I am in the hot water, and I'll give you the surefire answer. We've discussed it many, many times on the show on how to cut this monopoly. Panini, share your license. Make a swap 3 or 4 products, give us a little bit more variety, let the product drop. That's the only thing that yes, they've tried the Dutch auctions. People still get around it. You're talking about this exclusive club that they're doing where you're going to have, $500, $600 a year licensing for this. It's just like a PSL and NASCAR where you got to pre-order and then you got to drop another $400 or $500 on each box. That's ridiculous. Share your licensing. I know everybody likes this subscription from Topps, and I just think about it, Shep, from a God. Ben's gonna slap me next time he sees me. Think of it from the cost aspect of it. You're adding another $400 to $500 to your bottom line without even doing anything. So you get no ROI on that until after you sell the product. So as a flipper, whatever you want to call it, I still collect. But if you think about that as well, if you drop that extra on there, so now you're paying $1,000 per box, or even let's go even better. I can't afford anything like that, so let's go a $100 to $200 to $300 box I get a chance for. Now I got to drop another $400 or $500 or even $300 per year annually on a PSL license. I could do that for a football game, sure, but for at least for a hockey or a basketball game that stretches that out annually. But when you're doing that for cards, I mean, really? For cards?
Well, I think that as we fade out here, I think we fell in the hot tub. No, I think part of it. No, with the Montgomery Club, there is some some bonuses that you got for your purchase, right? That they were giving you some exclusive sets and they were sending you as part of the club. Plus, last year they sent out a full factory set to everybody that was part of the club with a stamp, and it allowed you to have a complete flagship set with a special stamp on there. And this year, I think that's gonna be one of the hottest things coming out if they do it again with the Louis Bobby rookie card with that Montgomery Club stamp, knowing it was limited. So, yeah.
I mean, I like the idea. I mean, in a perfect world, yeah, Panini would share the license. I would, if we could all get along, and in a perfect world, that'd be great. That'd be great. It's 100% not going to happen.
I asked Top that last year at their Q&A, and they said, "Man, I said, well, why wouldn't you give up 5 or 6 baseball license to the other companies to make a couple of like football and hockey and basketball spots?" And the guy just kind of was like, "Yeah, that'd be nice, but
I mean, could you imagine if Upper Deck loaned out LeBron James and Michael Jordan, and Panini was able to do a National Treasures type of product with licensed patch autos and what those guys would sell for? It would be insane. And vice versa, if Upper Deck was able to make an exquisite basketball and use Panini's license, it would be insane. But let's face it, these companies, they don't really like each other very much.
No.
And they are not going to try to help each other out anyway. I mean, if anything, the manufacturers are going after each other. They want to buy them. They want to take them out. They want them to just go away.
Yeah.
They don't embrace the competition. It's just not the way. It's not the way that side of the business works.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you, Tim, real quick.
Yeah.
The 582 Ginter, right? I'm a member of that. So I'm on their website and I checked. You are, and for 2020, you do get a 582 Montgomery Stamp Topps Baseball complete set, which is continuation of last year. But have the Ginter X and Archive Snapshots come out?
Not yet. I don't. Those have those. I haven't. I don't think that those pre-sales have happened yet.
Okay, yeah, because that exclusive access to pre-sale window for Sapphire, Ginta X, and Archive Snapshot. So there's still some other pre-sales coming for the 582 Montgomery members.
Yep, and that's going to be awesome. We have Dan Korean Cardboard. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Not too bad. Could you guys hear me all right?
You sound great.
Yep.
Val, Dan, it's nice to meet you guys. I met Tim at the National last year. But I'm going to be off topic. I was wondering, I thought about this question after seeing the Topps 3D come out. I don't collect modern unless you talk about Mark Burley, so I have to bring up something else. What do you, if Sportflix never came out, what do you think Sportflix would do today? Would it be garbage? Would people love it? Would people think it's childish? What I just was wondering what you guys thought of that.
I love the old Sportflix. I think that 3D linear or whatever is a nice product, but I don't know how much you could do of that. It seems like it's kind of a one trick. How many sets could you do to try to survive in this kind of market?
And is I'm sorry, do you guys think that would be costly to make now compared to what they do now?
Well, Upper Deck does make something similar. They have a lenticular that they put in Goodwin Champions, and it's a 3D card, very similar to Sportflix. But getting some feedback here. But basically, they count it as a hit. So I'm pretty sure it does cost them a lot of money to make that card, as opposed to just a regular base cardboard card. So I think that's why they put a lot of monetary value on it.
Yeah, no, I think it would do okay, but it would have to be like an insert set. A standalone would be really hard to do nowadays as well. I think they could do, like, if they could do a chrome lenticular card, I think people would just, their eyes would pop out of their heads, because anything chrome dipped, everybody loves. So, yeah.
Okay, that's all I had, guys. I just wanted to pair one time. You guys take care of yourself.
Good to see you.
Thanks.
He lives over in Korea, and so he's on a completely different time zone than we are. It's great to see him in there. I want to talk real quick about Luis Robert rookie cards. So flagship, base flagship rookie cards are going for around $15-$20, somewhere in there, depending if you're buying them, where you're buying them for, if you're buying them in a lot. But the Topps finest rookie card, right? The finest rookie card's going for like $10. Now, finest, isn't a super expensive product, but it's a chrome. You're limited in the number of cards you get per box and pack, and compared to flagship, and it's most likely not made in the same quantity that flagship is, or available at retail like flagship is. I just want to know what you guys think, why there's such a discrepancy when a flagship rookie is $20 and a finest rookie is $10. I found some this weekend I picked up for $10. I was like, hell, that's a great deal. But I couldn't believe it. Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, the thing that's even more bizarre, and you're talking about Luis Robert, right?
Yeah.
The flashback rookie, the finest flashback, goes for an insane amount. So, like, that even makes it even more confusing when you're like, why doesn't the regular finest sell for more than $10, but the flashback sells for $200? What? It's the same card. Like, what's going on? It's the same material.
I think people are on the two finest versions is just that the known scarcity quote, the under 10,000 boxes of the flashback that they made. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but still 10,000 boxes is quite a bit of product for what that run is. But no, I couldn't believe, like, I was like, doesn't add up. So I could sell one Robert, base card, flagship card and go get two of these. Okay. Like,
is it that people are banking that in the future the base will be more desirable to chase than the other ones? I've seen that on, like Gary V and those guys are, they're saying like with Prism, and maybe Optic overtakes Prism, where everybody goes after the silver. That's the, if you're going to get one, that's the one to get. So maybe some of that's into play.
I think the finest kind of gets mixed in with like a Bowman's Best. So like when you're a Luis Robert Bowman's Best, it's probably going to go for about $10. Very similar to the Chrome. And then you're going to have other products that come out, like the Heritage may go for a little bit more than that. It just depends. Like, it really depends on what people are collecting. But I think those mid-tier products get lost. I think those finest, and even now, like Sterling making a comeback, and the base cards there really don't sell for as much as they probably should. I think a lot of those mid-tier products just get lost in the shuffle.
And I think that's a great opportunity if you want to collect a guy to go back and kind of collect what other people aren't going after. Because in the long run, that could be one of those, could be the set that 5-6 years from now we look back and go, we really missed the boat. I mean, if you look back, the first year Prism basketball was released, no one was super excited about it. And look at the first year of Prism baseball, Trout and those guys, like those cards are going for crazy money, and nobody was very, okay, this is a cool product. It's got a lot of white powder on it. Like, this is fun. And the cards, 7 years later still are coated, and every time you touch them, you have it on your hands for days. I just thought it was interesting. Those price points. So yeah, Mark Wahlberg and his kids are busting a case of Chronicles, and he's pumping that out. Just how many more people are going to hop on it, and I feel like we're starting to get into that mid 90s range where we're not seeing them at all the gas stations and stuff, which I think that's a bright spot at this point. But I feel like you have people. There are breakers. There are professional breakers that do this, and then there are the Facebook breakers and the Instagram breakers, which kind of, to me, is a little scary if I was buying into that versus being able to go to a site and buy. I just think I'm different that way. But it reminds me of the 90s when you'd have a baseball card shop that had been open for a long time, and all of a sudden you have boom, 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 like 3 or 4 opening up all around, and then there's 12 in your town, and you're going like, oh wow, this is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's from a marketing standpoint a genius play by Panini. Mark Wahlberg has 15 million followers on Instagram or Twitter, or I think it was Instagram that we're talking about, and what, they sent a case of Chronicles. I think it was $10 or $12 to him, and then he I mean, they hold back cases for events anyway. And right now, we're not obviously doing events. We're not doing the rookie photo shoots and the stuff like that. So they always are going to have product that they hold back for events or for Twitter giveaways or for like whatever they're going to do. If Mark Wahlberg hit Mojo Breakup and was like, hey, my kids want to open up a case of Chronicles and we'll give you a shout out, I would send Mark Wahlberg a case of Chronicles. You can't buy that type of advertising.
No.
It's genius. I give Panini, and I know there's a lot of hatred right now. There's a lot of people who are saying, how dare you give, Mark Wahlberg free case of Chronicles when customers can't get it, your site crashes and all this stuff, and it's $900. Panini's looking at it like, we just spent pennies on the dollar for one of the best marketing campaigns that we could run all year long.
Yeah, we just spent $800 and got Mark Wahlberg to do an ad for us.
Yeah.
He got Chronicles NASCAR?
No, Chronicles basketball, but they probably were like, that's probably what they did. They're like, you want some Chronicles NASCAR? We'll get you a couple days early. You can do a little preview.
So it was basketball.
Marky Mark was probably like, nah, man, we want basketball.
What, like, I was looking at the Chronicles, and we always, on About the Cards, we always make fun of Chronicles, right? Because it's like 36 products that they just kind of like, oh, yeah, we couldn't release this. This was like an insert that people liked, or this was a set that we used to have, but, like, I know your favorite set, Vanguard, is in there. And so it's like they just kind of grab all the leftovers. It's like the last kids picked in the class, and they kind of put them in a box, and they put it out, and I mean, I think the Prism update, there was a couple rookies in there, Kendrick Nunn being one of them that has some life to it. I mean, Optic had a traded set or whatever in there with some of the big veterans that moved. But, to me, it's like a mishmash of so much stuff left over, kind of like, just it feels to me like leftover. It's crazy that it's that price. Out of all the products they have, why Chronicles is the one that's $900 right off the gate? Is it because we're getting to the end of the season or the end of the run for 18 or 1920, and
it's like a grab bag. It's a grab bag of just mystery products. And
Topps fun packs.
Yeah, and if you would have told me it was going to be $900 or $1,000, I think some online retailers are at $1,000 now, I'd be like, I'm not buying it for $1,000 a box. You're crazy. Like, I don't see the appeal and the hype, but again, it's not my type of product. Like, I'll break it if people want it, but like, it's not a product that I would go out and try to get and rip a box myself.
Yeah,
and that's my honest opinion of it.
Well, you're not going to the chances of you returning even a quarter of that price, because you talked about it. The MSRP was $120, so now we're 8 times almost that to buy a box. So you're going to get a quarter of your money back if you. That's a heck of a rip.
You need a Zion in every box.
And the funny thing that you brought that up is that it's loaded with Ja Morant and Zion. There's so many cards that at what point are you like, where's the value? If I open up a box and I get 7 Ja's, then everybody's getting that amount. At what point does it just get watered down? Like, how do you know which? And I know some of them are numbered. The Gala is like numbered to 8, and those are probably. That parallel of Zion's probably going to be a $20,000 card when it hits the market. But and I actually think it's I don't like that design personally. We talked about it on the hype. I was like, I don't know why anybody would make the marquee rookie to collect. It looks like a yearbook photo with like a silhouette of him playing basketball. I just don't like it.
Yeah, it's crazy for me. Well, we got about 10 minutes left if anybody else wants to call in and hang out with us. But I want to know, guys, if you were going to have a perfect release, what would your perfect release look like? Like, you were going to put out, you're going to have, Dan's duels, right? Like Doug always talks about. Like, what would your release look like?
You know, it's funny because I go back to like 10 years ago, and I loved die cuts. I loved everything that was a die cut. I thought die cuts were amazing. It's been blown out of proportion now. I kind of look at a die cut and I'm like, really? I'm like, everything has to be a die cut now. So it definitely would include die cuts. I'm over them. It would definitely have to be some type of chrome. Do like the chrome. Maybe a high-end baseball product with a chrome. Kind of like if they were to make definitive, but chrome it over. Something chrome with prime patches.
Well, here we go. I got an idea. Chrome, transcendent chrome.
They're coming out with Bowman Transcendent.
Yep.
There's a possibility that it could be very similar to that. It could be and I said, if they made the Bowman Transcendent cards framed, but they actually had the chrome facing on them, it would be huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think my perfect product would be something similar to definitive baseball, but chromed over.
Would you have a encased hit?
I can tell you what I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have a box topper. I like card size regular. Being a breaker, when you get like a 5x7 box topper and you got to hunt down the correct top loader for it, or a minis, it would be definitely card size regular. And you know what I would do? I would definitely take a little thing from Panini and do one hot box per, and maybe have like not all 101s, because I'm terrified at some point that we're going to get to a product that's going to be $100,000 and it's going to be all super fractors. I don't want that, but maybe something that's like, I don't know, maybe a different color hot box, maybe like a all one type of parallel, kind of similar to what Optic does.
Now, what would your perfect product look like?
You know, I'm like, I'm more of a base set guy, and I think Chris Harris had it, 792 cards, one series. I like, the update sets as a factory set, more 80s type stuff. And I'm not a big, chrome or whatever. So, give me the mid 80s, whatever. I do like the white stock backs, either the Tiffany back or the OPC back with those colors. So I know it's not sexy, but I like that without the gloss, so you can get them autographed. That's kind of my, and full teams, rookies and stars and journeymen. So what about you, Tim?
Well, one of mine would be the one I would be probably most excited about would be doing something that was take Bowman or Topps Inception, right? That card stock, that thicker card stock, get a little chrome finish, and have it mirror kind of maybe not a full run like flagship, but you have like the starting nine, or you have. Each team has X number of players. You have you have a good amount of teams represented in there, but then every box has a encased autograph that's in there. It's it's in the one touch, sealed up, and it kind of it's at the bottom of the box and that kind of thing. And that's what I would do. And I would have inserts in there, and I'd have 4, and they would be they'd be numbered from under 100 with some cool colors. I think that's kind of what I would have, and it would, have 10 packs a box or something to that effect. It'd be a fun rip, and
I was gonna say the no redemptions and or redemptions for uncut sheets.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. I wouldn't have any NIM in mind though. I wouldn't. I would just. I'd much rather have. For me, I'd much rather have a manufactured award like MVP award or something like that, versus a little tiny, like everybody says, napkin relic, or an auto. And we'll see. I mean, we all could dream. I like Chris Harris, the 792 in one series. That would be fun. What I miss from flagship is the All-Star cards where they were they said All-Star and was actually, they weren't all from the All-Star game. They were in series, because it was one series, but they were all available everywhere, in all the packs and that kind of stuff. But,
the league leaders. And also, I remember like 85, 86, they had those Pete Rose.
On the 86 set.
And then all the little of his other tops cards through the years, and then Nolan Ryan did the same way. So
yeah, no, that was pretty cool. Well, guys, anything else before we end the show tonight on this Monday Night Heat edition?
No.
All right. Well, it's been fun as always. Thanks for tuning in and checking us out. Make sure you're following us at Hobby Hotline on Twitter. Follow Mojo Break at MojoBreak_com. You're following Val at NASCAR Radio. Always follow me at Big Shep 79. And check us out on Saturday. We're going to be live at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern for another great edition. And we will see you all next week.